Get ready for the show, it's about to begin. Pro fan talk when we dive right in. Sports talk, hot takes, ain't nothing we lack. We the real fans, nothing holding us back. Mic check, 1, 2, y'all know the drill. We bringing the energy, we keep it real. Touchdowns on liquid air, on the slam dunks on the court. Every sport, every game, we holding down the fort. We breaking down the plays, dissecting the stats. Pro fan talk, we keeping it fat. Debating with passion, no filter, no doubt. We the voice of the fans, we scream and we shout.
What's going on? What's going on? What's good? Welcome to the Pro Fan Talk. It seems like it's been a while, man. What is happening? Got busy last week, end of the year stuff, trying to catch up with work. Got some family issues we had to deal with, man. Everything's good, but just got busy. You know what I'm saying? So happy to be back on the live stream again, man. But what is happening, man? Have we had a media week last week with the controversy? I couldn't even talk about that because I had so much other stuff going on and with work and just trying to catch up. And I just couldn't get a chance to get on live, man. So I was producing couple of videos back then last week I put out, but finally just get a chance to get on live, talk to you people. So if you got questions, hit me up, man. Hey, if you in the chat and you think you might want to come on or whatever, let me know. We'll make it happen, bro. So a lot of stuff to get to, man. What's going on, Chris? First out the limo, man. I appreciate you, bro. Appreciate you. Enough is never enough. You already know where we going tonight, man. You already know. But before we get into the mix, man, before we step on the field and and start team session, gotta put this out there right now, man. First of all, I want to appreciate everybody who's shown me support through the time I've been doing this, man. I just reached 5,000 subscribers a couple days ago. I was gonna go live with it, but again, got busy with everything, couldn't do it. But so today is my first live stream since I have surpassed the 5,000 subscriber mark. Just wanted to say I appreciate you. And as promised, coming up very soon, probably by the end of this week or sometime next week, I will be giving away my hat. I got an old school 1992 Eagles Pro Bowl edition brim, fitted cap with the Kelly green, the colors we wore when I played. So I'll be giving that away. I'll figure out a way to have a drawing for it, and I'll announce the winners. So yeah, some new stuff going on, man. Appreciate you, bro. Appreciate you, PA Philly, man. Appreciate you, man. The support, man. It's been a marathon, not a sprint. But the one thing that I've learned is, or the one thing they call when you're on YouTube, they call it organic growth. and that means you're not really growing, super fast. Some of those people put out a couple videos and they get hundreds of thousands of hits and subscribers. They just hit the lottery, man. But my grind was a little bit longer. But we talk about organic growth, meaning the people that rock with you have been rocking with you for the longest time and for the right reasons. So I'm just going to continue to cultivate that growth, to cultivate that team. Everybody that follows me, you already know you part of my squad, you part of my team, and I appreciate you. Introducing myself to some new people. Just recently, I really got into Discord, and I really like Discord for their took me a minute to get used to it because it's different. But I do like the engagement that I get on Discord. You know what I mean? A little bit better than I do on Facebook and some of the other platforms. So I've been doing that. 2025, I'll definitely be looking into Twitch because I don't know what's going to happen with TikTok. So, got to get your plan B ready and get started and get on it, man. Why wait? So Cody K, what's going on, bro? Appreciate you, man. But out of the blocks, man, Jalen Hurts. Jalen Hurts had a hell of a media week last week after the Carolina game and the comments by AJ Brown. And if you heard me and Tone, by the way, if you're not listening to Tone DeShields on Chalk It Up Sports, you got to check him out. If you're not listening to my guy KSAP on Simply Ball Dropping, you got to check him out. But me and Tone do our weekly Eagles pregame show. And we were talking about everything that happened with Jalen Hurts. And my thing was, when AJ said his initial comments, I immediately knew what he was talking about. I did not think he was wrong for saying it. I didn't think he was really airing out any dirty laundry, particularly in that game. Yes, we won. But nobody can deny the fact that that was an ugly game for Jalen. The passing game just is a byproduct of how he was playing. So I thought AJ Brown was stating the obvious. That's what I thought. Because I guaranteed the film session that week had to be brutal. Because the one thing I can tell you from my experience being in the locker room, being in some of those film sessions, you get told the truth. The big eye in the sky don't lie. And when you think you did one thing, but when you see it on film, a lot of times it's not like you thought. And there's no way that Jalen can go back and look at that film and think that everything was good. So I totally understood where AJ Brown was coming from. Didn't think he was out of line. I didn't think he was, everybody could put two and two together. But again, I just thought that was an obvious observation. I didn't think he was saying anything revealing. You know what I mean? He was, yes, you could tell he was frustrated. He was very short. Leaning on his experience from last year when he went from saying too much to not saying anything, and the media basically lost their damn mind because everybody's looking for something. You got to have something to quote, to say, all of that type of stuff. So I think he was just cautious with his words. But again, for the umpteenth time coming out of my mouth, I didn't think he was wrong one bit. Now, the situation with Brandon Graham, that's a whole nother set of circumstances. That's a whole nother set of circumstances. As a player, Brandon Graham, in my opinion, stepped over the line. And he said as much. He shouldn't have said it. He tried to walk it back. They had conversations in the locker room, all of that stuff. And he shouldn't have had to do it because he shouldn't have said it. And it hurts because it was him. You know what I'm saying? It's almost like, something happens in your family and you're trying to keep it in-house and somebody on the outside finds out, and come to find out it was somebody in your family that told somebody on the outside. And it's like, why you? That's what makes it hurt the worst. You know what I mean? So that situation with Brandon, and as I was watching it, Like my mouth was wide open. I could not believe it. My jaw dropped, man. My jaw dropped because the only thing I kept thinking of was not BG. Like, come on, not BG. Out of all the people that this could come from, not you. It didn't make any sense. And then for him to, I got nervous when I was listening to the interview, when I was listening to his conversation with Howard Eskin. And he kept saying, if I'm going to be honest, I'm just trying to be honest. And he said about 5 times. And I was like, uh-oh. And I was like, and then the next day on, what was it, Get Up, maybe the ESPN show, whatever the show is with Jeff Saturday. And Jeff Saturday said it perfectly. He says, if you got to be honest, stop right there. Stop right there. Don't go no further. Because anytime you got to say, if I'm being honest, ... that's a problem. That's a problem. John, I'm with you, Jonathan. AJ was right. Iron sharpens iron. Hell yeah. 100%. I'm with you 100%, bro. But I ain't gonna lie. That hurt because it came from BG. And what made it worse is you got to look at the macro. BG is a 15-year vet. And then on the flip side of that, I heard what Joy Taylor said, yesterday morning. She was like, you can't gaslight us because you were the one that put this out there, and you couldn't argue because she was 100% right. The media did not create that firestorm. I don't even blame that on AJ Brown. I put that squarely in the lap of Brandon Graham. And everybody makes mistakes. I don't know if he was oversharing. It doesn't surprise me that he is that type of personality where he is a very emotional type dude. So he pours into everything. And I just think he got a little bit of loose of the tongue. And once it started flowing, he couldn't stop it. Some people have that personality. Some people will tell you, if you don't want it out in the ethos, don't tell me, because I can't keep a secret. There's some people like that. If you don't want nobody to know, don't tell me, because I can't keep a secret. And Brandon Graham might be one of those people. But, they had their conversations and the whole relationship thing, I just think it's my opinion that he just got that wrong. Because even when you're in a locker room, once you leave, you don't know what's going on. You don't know what somebody else is doing. Period. You think, but you don't know. Ooh, that's some good cold coffee. You think, but you don't know. And everybody, yeah, John, you 2 for 2 tonight, bro. BG, a man just like all of us, he messed up. Probably an OG doing too much, especially with the injury. You know what? That's a good one right there. You're probably right. And I don't think BG is in the locker room like he used to be, because he does his rehab or, gets his treatment, does whatever rehab he's got to do. And then he's probably hightailing it home. He might stay in there and watch film, but my guess is his day-to-day in the locker room is different, I would think. I'm guessing. But in any case, he didn't, I'm going to take him at his word that he, was talking out of turn and didn't understand the whole situation, nor did he have all the facts. I'm going to take him at his word. The rest of the media ain't. Once you put it out there, it's out there. And he put it out there. So, I have a running joke where I talk about anytime you hear a story in the NFL, I want to go and hear, I want to chase down whoever this guy named Sources is. Because everybody heard it from sources close to the team, sources close to this player, that player, sources close to the locker room, that type of stuff. And I'm like, I got to find this guy named Sources, because this dude is in everybody's locker room. So that's a running joke. But for the most part, if you're on the outside looking in, you guessing. And it was just annoyingly frustrating that it was Brandon Graham that was loading everybody's guns. And I was like, oh, bruh, not you, man. Say it ain't so. Say it ain't so. But it all worked out. I'm sure that BG got it all together. He said as much. They had their conversations and did what they had to do. So, and then you saw the results against the Steelers. Now, let me say, we'll get into the game, but before the game, before we played the Steelers, I got so tired of hearing that same type of talk, very similar to right before we played Baltimore. Baltimore was going to thump us. Baltimore was going to be our first big loss, and Lamar was going to eat us up, and Derrick Henry was going to eat us up. And people forgot, man. People forgot. We wrote the blueprint on how to stop Derrick Henry. The Eagles wrote that 3 years ago when he was still with Tennessee, and we held him to like 24 yards for the game. We did that. And we held him again. Now, he had a much better game. I think he ended up with 70, 80, 82 yards or something like that. But for the most part, we pretty much held that running game in check. We held that offense in check. And people have started to take our defense seriously. And they damn well better. Because we got 3 studs on defense. And I'm calling 3, but we got more than that. But I'm just going to call out 3 guys right now. Actually, it's 4. Actually, let me just go down the list because the more I think about it, the more people I want to add. But I want to keep it to 1, 2, 3. I'll say 4. I'll say 4. Number 1 on defense is Jalen Carter. As advertised. We knew he was a stud last year, and once, he had that 1 year under Fletch. So you can see the way it's supposed to be done. You can see how it's supposed to be played. You got to play behind a you got to play behind the daggone Hall of Fame, because I believe Fletch is a Hall of Famer. So it's he got the learning that, the teaching that he needed. And is paying dividends this year. Jalen Carter's number 1. Jalen Carter is the number 1 game plan on defense. When people play us, you gotta take consideration for Jalen Carter. Number 2, Nolan Smith. Nolan Smith is another one that just came into his own and has just been blasting everybody. Finally, he bulked up a little bit. He has gotten a little bit bigger, but he still got that 4.3, low 4.4 speed. And it is impressive because now he's not losing the battle of physics like he was last year. We're going to get into the battle of physics. We're going to talk about that a little bit in regards to our guy, Big Play Slay. So, it's good problems to have. So let's go. Jalen Carter, number 1. Nolan Smith is number 2. Zach Bond is number 3. Zach Bond has been killing it. I call him Dragon Bond Z because he looks like Nappa. He looks like Nappa. I got to find that post because I'm so happy with this. This was my first post on Twitter that went viral. Let me see if I can find it. And by the way, another day to remind everybody that Eric Allen belongs in the Hall of Fame. You see that video playing up top? Yeah, that's EA. He belongs in the Hall of Fame, man. Don't tell somebody to tell somebody. But hold on, let me see. I gotta find it. It's so far back now. I got a picture of him and Napa side by side, and I was like, yeah, that's Napa. Yeah, okay, it's be going back too far. Let me see. Yeah, it's too far back. That's too far back. It's all good. There go BG. That's what I'm talking about. Zach Bond is 3. And then, of course, number 4 is Quinyon Mitchell. Quinyon Mitchell. Now, there's been a lot of talk coming out lately about Q. Leader in the clubhouse for Defensive Player of the Year. I think it's coming down between him and Jared Verse. I thought that Quinyon might be a little behind Jared Verse because Jared Verse is getting the sacks and Quinyon is not getting picks. He doesn't have any INTs, I don't think. My estimation was that he needed at least 3. If he could get 3 picks, but he has been such a shutdown corner that his overall play is just overshadowing everybody else. So maybe he can still get it. I think his name is coming up in conversations a lot more. I know Brian Dawkins was talking very highly of him. And Brian Dawkins is somebody that can get national attention based on what he says. I think he was on the Kay Adams show, Up and Adams or whatever. So at least Quinyon is getting that national attention, and he deserves it. He deserves it. He's been a quiet dude. He's been the guy that you want because he hasn't done anything but stepped on the field and balled out. That's it. He don't do too much chirping. He just gets on there, brings his lunch pail to work, and he does his work flawlessly. That's what Quinyon Mitchell does. Don't say much. To me, he has the same type of demeanor as Bradbury had. But it's just right now a lot better. A lot better. Yeah, PA Philly man, you got to put Cooper in there, but Cooper's not in my top 4. Cooper will be like 4.5. He'd be up there. But if you ask me this top 4 next week, or if you would have asked me 3 weeks ago, I might have 4 different players. I think Bond would still be in there and Jalen Carter, but the other 2 would be up in the air. Because then you got to look at Milt Williams. Then you got to look at Nakobe Dean. Nakobe Dean and Zach Bond are gelling together better than anybody could have expected. Anybody could have expected. And nobody would have ever thought, at least, we knew how it turned out. But look at it when we were still going through training camp and all of that type of stuff. Nobody would have told me that Nakobe Dean would have made everybody totally forget about Devin White. Totally forget about Devin White. Now, Nakobe is my dude. You guys know I had a chance to spend some time with Nakobe at his football camp. I'm trying to get him on the show. I'm still efforting for that to happen, but we'll see how that works out. But Nakobe, every time he gets on the field, he makes something happen, and he just continues to get better and better. And at first, he was like, he can't cover, and I'm like, who can cover? Linebackers cannot cover. And I will say that about anybody. I don't care if you're talking about Greenlaw, Fred Warner, Roquan Smith, linebacker, Zach Bond. Zach Bond cannot cover. Zach Bond can run. But if you look at that play that happened in the game where he had to drop back in coverage, he was running with the running back. He can run with the running back. But when I say cover, that's a different skill set. My DBs and my cornerbacks and my safeties can cover. Linebackers can't cover. They can run. Because if he could cover, Zach Bond would have turned his head and located the ball, and he would have been in position for a pick. So I always make that distinction because early in the season, Nakobe Dean was getting a lot of criticism for being in coverage. And it's like, you can only go so far with linebackers. Linebackers, if I'm a running back and I'm in a pass pattern on a linebacker, I win that battle. I win that battle because I'm a skill position. I'm normally faster than the linebacker. He doesn't know where I'm going, and I can set him up for a double move or whatever it is, underneath screen pass, whatever the situation is. We have the advantage. If you can shift your offense or put somebody in motion, if I'm putting AJ in motion, that he ends up being guarded by a linebacker, I'm taking that all damn day. All day. So, and I'm saying all that to say, linebackers are limited in what they can do because they're always going up against somebody that's quicker, faster, and knows where they're going. So they're at a disadvantage being on their heels and usually moving backwards. So when you get somebody that can run with the receivers, and I'm not expecting them to have all pro coverage, but I am expecting them to run. And that, again, I play with Zach Bond. Zach Bond was in position. That was just a hell of a pass by Russell Wilson and a hell of a catch by the receiver. So Nakobe Dean has been doing a great job in coverage and an even better job getting to the ball carrier. Zach Bond is doing a great job in coverage, but doing a better job getting to the ball carrier. We already know what Quignon is doing. We already know what Cooper is doing. Cooper caught a couple lumps last week with the fumble on punt return, and a couple of games that, some offenses, got the best of them. But for the most part, again, when you're looking at the macro, Cooper DeJean has been as advertised this year. As advertised. Quignon Mitchell's been better than that. So I'm like, our defense, and then Slay. Let me talk about Slay real quick, right? You heard me mention earlier when I talked about the battle of physics, right? When you're talking about the battle of physics is when you are a linebacker or a defensive back and you got a pulling guard coming your way, you are going to lose the battle of physics unless you are you built like I don't know, you big like Seth. Seth Jordan was what, 6'3", 6'4", 230 at the time. So unless you big linebackers, I remember like Levon Kirkland, how big he was. Nobody's playing linebacker that big anymore. But my point is when you got a 300+ pound pulling guard or a tackle coming your way, you better get ready for the pain. Or if you are a smart, good, and quick player, you got to beat the offensive lineman to the spot to make him move so he won't move you. Now, what does this have to do with Slay? Y'all saw that play. Y'all saw that play when Slay got ran to the back of the end zone. That was the Michael Orr play. That was the blindside play, like in the movie where he pushed the dude and drug him back over the fence. That's what happens when you lose the battle of physics. Shout out to Slay because, he took his medicine and was trying to fight back, but the dude had his hands on him, had his arms extended, and the full weight going back, and he literally, Slay, lost the battle of physics. Ain't nothing you can do about that. The only thing you can do is do the old Star Trek kickflip, where you roll on your back and kick the guy over you. But he wasn't doing that. And the guy took him back as far as he could go. So, sometimes you get the bear, sometimes the bear gets you. So, but shout out to Slay because Slay has been playing phenomenally when he's on the field. My problem with Slay is it seems like every game he get nicked up, limping off, growing, hamstring, ankle, the little things. And at his age, recovering from that seems to take a little bit longer and longer. So if we can keep Slay healthy, in my opinion, Slay is still one of the baddest dudes on our defense. And what is Slay's age? Hold on. Slay is what, 34? Because at his age, he's 33. So he'll be 34 in January. January 1st. He a New Year's baby. Okay. So at 33, about to be 34 years old, Slay can still run. He's got makeup speed. And he's still impressive moving around and making things happen. So as long as Slay can stay on the field, that's a bonus for us. CJ Gardner-Johnson, the last 6 or 7 games, he has been stellar. He's been playing physical, getting pass breakups, getting interceptions, causing turnovers, and he is coming up and making hits. He is playing physical, and he is making ball carriers pay for what they earn. And that's what you need. You already know how I feel about Blankenship. People can talk about Blankenship all they want. Blankenship might not be the fastest dude out there, but I would argue that Blankenship is the smartest dude out there. Because he is a linebacker at safety. He knows where everybody's supposed to be, moving people around, communicating. And that's the most important thing on defense. He can communicate and let everybody know where they're supposed to be. So you know he's tight with the film study. You know he's tight with it. So defense wins championships. And our defense right now, nobody thought that they would be better than 22. Nobody thought that. And what we seeing right now, props to Howie Roseman. Got to give props to Howie. What we see right now is ridiculous. It's ridiculous. So, Peanut Butter 123. All these Georgia boys really coming together. Yeah, it is dope to see. I am a personal fan of Keely Ringo. A couple games ago, when they were doing the Isaiah Rodgers experience. I like Isaiah Rodgers, but I want to see Keely Ringo. Keely Ringo is a much more physical cornerback, and people forget how fast Keely Ringo is. Keely Ringo was like low 4.3s, 4.2 speed. Keely Ringo was ridiculous. Hold on. Keely Ringo. Let me see. What was his 40 time? I believe he ran a 4.2 something. Okay, he ran a 4.36 at the combine. I thought he ran faster than that, but you know what? I'll take a 4.36. That's still blazing speed, man. And he's physical. He is a physical receiver. Defensive back. So you gotta. I want to see him get more playtime because I think he'll be better for it. And I think next year is going to be his year. But if it comes to a situation where we got to see that or we need that, I think he'll step in there and take care of business. So, yeah, he's a special teams monster. That's for sure. He's definitely a special teams monster, man. Let me see. Yeah, the Kobe. That's one of the things we talked about when I had a chance to interview him at his camp. We talked about getting healthy and being ready to play and just taking advantage of that opportunity. And every chance he gets, when I get an opportunity, I usually text him after every game, like good game, young fella, something like that. Yeah, man, the dude, the play he made against Jaden Daniels, the Washington game, when it was one-on-one, Jaden Daniels and him. And if Jaden Daniels would have shook him, Jaden Daniels would have had the first down. They'd have got out of that hole in the end zone, and it, could have extended the drive. They were backed up coming out, and there was one play, Jaden Daniels just took off, and he couldn't shake N'Kobe. N'Kobe went right with him, couldn't shake him. And just being able to have a nose for the ball, get to the ball, and not miss the tackle, man. That's what you want to see. That's what you want to see. Do y'all think any really big linebackers come back into the league if the league continues to shift towards running the ball? No, because they're not shifting towards running the ball. So here's the difference. Now there's a bigger market because of Saquon, because of Jacobs, because of Derrick Henry, even CMC before he got hurt. There is a better market for running backs now. And you have more offense that are going to find a way to use the running backs that they have. Period. You look at what's the kid's name? Bucky Irving in Tampa Bay. You look at Saquon Barkley. Hell, you can even look at Kenny Gainwell. Right? So what's the guy that Carolina had? He had a good game against us, Hubbard. So I just think what they've done is they have re-energized my position. Because my position was going extinct. So you were either a tailback or a fullback. Now fullbacks are just tight ends. Hell, tight ends and some linebackers, Van Sumeren, you know what I mean? So nobody's drafting fullbacks anymore. They're drafting a tight end that can play multiple spots. Tight ends now are slot receivers, fullbacks, and depending on what kind of package you're putting in, extra receiver out there. So the position of fullback is kind of going the way of the dodo bird, man. We're becoming extinct. So the offense that I played in, you were neither a halfback or a fullback. You were a back. And wherever you just happened to line up, if you were on the A side, that means you were a halfback. If you were on the B side, that means you were a fullback because you were on the strong side with the tight end. And you usually, if you're on the strong side, you're responsible for any blitz pickup. Now, running that type of offense and me being a 205-pound rookie with the Eagles, and I got to deal with Seth Joyner and Willie T and Byron Evans blitz pickup. Yeah, that law of physics, losing the battle of physics. Yeah. I took a couple L's in camp and in preseason dealing with that. So I don't think that we're shifting to a running game. They're always going to want to throw the ball around. But I think there is a reevaluation of the value of running backs now. Thanks to Saquon, thanks to Derrick Henry, thanks to Bijan Robinson. So they've kind of brought that back. What's going on, Blunt? Appreciate you, bro. Yep. Look back. We said if the team was top 15 with our offense, we would be fine. And that's exactly what's been going on. You're exactly right. Exactly right. We finally got the situation. Now, this is what I want to see. We finally got this situation settled with the passing game. So this is what I want to see going forward, because I don't know if everybody picked this up, but Jalen was in his rhythm and getting rid of the ball on time and all of that type of stuff. But did you notice that the Eagles were running a tempo offense, doing a lot of no huddle, moving in and out, a lot of moving parts, and a lot of people were on and off the field very quickly, and you just kept that pace up. So we got to keep that we got to keep that up going forward, because just like our running game, now we understand what works. Everybody else has got film on it, but it's hard to stop it because it's happening so fast. And you put the defense on their heels because they're still trying to react and put people in place. So we got to implement that going forward. Period. So we've got it. We've seen that it can work. And at the end of the day, you can always hand the ball off to Saquon. Now, having said that, Saquon, Here's my issue with Saquon, and it's not this. That doesn't sound right. Let me say that again. Here's my issue with the offense surrounding Saquon. That sounds better. They're still not running Saquon correctly. And I know that sounds weird with what he's been doing. And I think it just accents how good he is. Let's see if I can find this. Did I lose it? I think I did. He's got 1,688 yards. He got 3 games left. Let me see. I thought I had that saved. Yeah, I thought I had that saved, but I don't. Daggone it. Basically, what it was now I want to see if I can find it again. It was a chart, and it was showing all of the rushes, where they were rushing. Was it over the tackle? Was it over the center? And most of Saquon's big runs are coming from the outside, from the left side, behind Mailata. Now, if you guys have ever watched me in a live stream or when I talk post-game and stuff like that, it has been a constant criticism of mine because they always try to run up the middle. And when they run up the middle, they run from gun formation, which is the worst because you're not going forward. You're going side to side first. You're going east-west first. Running backs, we do not like to go east and west at all. The only time we go east and west is if you bouncing it outside or you avoiding the tackle. And sometimes we do that to our detriment. We do not like to go east and west. We want to go downhill. Line me up at ace or put me in pistol, but let me come downhill. I don't want to step to the side and then have to go forward because one step to the side and the edge rushers, or if they have a run blitz or something like that, they got 2 steps in my face. That puts them 2 steps closer to me. So I like lining up deep and coming straight downhill. If you line up 7 yards deep, some running backs get to 8 just to give the offensive line that half second to get to their blocks because you can't hit the hole too fast. So that's the situation I'm looking at. And we seem to want to force the issue inside. Now, you can run inside because some of Saquon's best runs have been inside. But in my opinion, you set it up running outside first. Then you come inside. You loosen the defense up. You stretch them out. You make the linebackers flow east and west. When you make the linebackers flow east and west instead of coming up, it makes the blocks easier for the offensive line. A lot easier for the offensive line. And when you stretch them out east and west, running backs can pick their hole. There is no hole. I'm going to get you the ball somewhere between the guard tackle gap, 6 yards deep. That's the optimal position to get the ball for a running back, 6 yards deep. That gives you plenty of time. That gives you at least 2 steps to verify what you're seeing and make the right cut. That's what that happens. You've seen Saquon do that a couple times where he gets the ball off tackle. I think the one game was at the Rams game where he had 256, whatever game that was. That was a off tackle run to the right, and he cut it back because it gives you room. It makes the linebackers and the defense flow. And when you flow, it creates space in between them. And it makes the blocks easier for your offensive linemen. And as a running back, you're still 3 or 4 yards off the ball. So you're scanning and you can see which way to go. It might be cutting back to the left. It might be bouncing it outside to the right. But the point is that you have the vision to go wherever you want to go. And that's when Saquon gets into a zone and he's doing his thing, and he sees everything. That's where you want to be. And on top of that, we got the best offensive line in football. Stop playing with me. But I still think that they don't run the ball right, in my opinion. I just think they don't do it. Here's this chart for the Steelers game. 19 for 65. Right? He had a couple good runs. He had a 20-plus yard run. But I need this a little bit more. I need this. All this outside noise. I need that. This, and you can see how many times you see the red ones down there when he tried to change directions or bounce outside. But for the most part, get him outside in space and let him beat guys around the corner. I'll take that. I'll take that gamble with Saquon because he's fast enough to get around the corner, and at the very least, he'll get back to the line of scrimmage. So we just continue to get better. Now, Case, that's a good point. Pittsburgh did sell out on the run. They wanted Jalen to beat them up top. And let me be honest with you. That's a sound strategy from Mike Tomlin. Unfortunately, we knew that Jalen Hurts can beat you in the air. It just, the way the offense had been running and what Saquon was doing, he didn't have the opportunity to do that. And everybody focused in on the Carolina game. Everybody focused in on that. And the narrative, the national narrative was he couldn't. And I was like, wait a minute. I was like, you think he just forgot how to pass and read the defense? He didn't do that. It's just the way things played out. And on top of that, he had a bad game. Everybody has bad games. That's the one thing that's consistent in the NFL. Eventually, somebody's going to have a bad game. You look at Najee Harris. He fumbles the ball. Nobody touches him. That's just a plain not looking at ball into your hands. That is elementary, peewee, little league, rule number 1 if you were running back. Look the ball into your hands. And he didn't do it. So it's not as easy as everybody thinks, but big consequences when it doesn't come out right. What'd you say about Charlamagne the guy says nobody cares about the truth when the lies are more entertaining. Sorry, I'm behind. The BG conversation. All right, I got you. I was like, what is he talking about, Charlamagne? I got you. That makes sense. It's all good. Me and Seth has been on the show a few times on other people's shows. I need the effort to get Big Bruh on here. Seth was one of my captains when I played. So, Seth and Randall, Willie T. I got to get Willie T on because Willie T, I really want to talk to Willie T because Willie T is in the process now to be a referee in the next coming years. And I'm thinking next year might be the time where they move him up. So I'm really, really happy for T. He's one of my best friends. He was best man at my wedding. So me and T are tight, but definitely want to get him on there and talk about that a little bit more. Definitely got to get bro on Big Bro, Seth. Just to talk about defense. Because our defense, this defense is nasty like it was back when I was playing. Because we had Seth and Clyde and Byron Evans and Willie T and Wes Hopkins and Andre Waters and Eric Allen. We had the refrigerator, Tim Harris, who else? William Frizzell, Rich Miano, Gerald Nichols, Mark McMillan. Who else did we have? We had Mark, what's his name? He came from New York. Eric, I forget his last name. Eric, he came from New York, played with the Jets. Eric, I can't remember. Getting old. But suffice to say, man, those guys on defense, man, the last piece of that gangrene defense, Reggie White had been gone. He had left the year before. He left in 92, I think. My rookie year was 93. And then I got there right after Jerome Brown passed away. So we still had the foundation of that gangrene defense. Especially when you talk about Seth in the middle, Clyde on the line, Andre Waters and Wes Hop in the back. Roman. And then, of course, EA don't even throw his way. So we were solid, man. We were solid. And not for nothing, people would pick on Mark McMillan because they just thought they could throw over him. And, he ended up making it to the Pro Bowl. So we had, and I'm saying all of this to say, the defense that we have now is nasty like that. Definitely nasty like that, man. So, yeah. Like, don't get me started on the running game, Eagle Stewart, because one of the things that I say is it upsets me that we could have been running the ball like this 3 seasons ago with Miles Sanders. We definitely could have done it with DeAndre Swift. We just didn't. And people will say we didn't have a running back like Saquon. No, we didn't. However, we had DeAndre Swift. We had Miles Sanders. And if they would have committed to running the ball like we have this season, I guarantee you we still could have done both. AJ would have got his, Smitty would have got his, and with our offensive line, you can stick anybody back there. You can put somebody back there on crutches, and they'll still get 80 yards a game. Like, our offensive line has been that good. But they just didn't commit with the run. And it was, I say this all the time because everybody wants to see the stereotype passer. That's why Jalen Hurts catches so much heat when he's not throwing for 300, 400 yards like everybody else does. And my question is, how come nobody else is complaining when all these guys are throwing for 300 and 400 yards don't ever make it to the playoffs or the Super Bowl? I'm just asking for a friend. So I don't look at it like that. I look at who's winning. As good as Josh Allen is, has Josh Allen made it as far as Jalen Hurts? Nope. Has Dak? Nope. And you put anybody else up there. Kirk Cousins? Nope. Sam Darnold? Nope. So it is what it is. I want the results. I don't care how we get there. And that's the difference. And that is why you have this national narrative. I think Joy Taylor said it today. People are just not ready to see a quarterback like Jalen Hurts or Lamar Jackson just ascend. Now, Lamar Jackson has, because Lamar Jackson can sling it a little bit better than Jalen can. But Jalen is right there. So we'll see what it looks like going forward. That's the big key. What's going to be going forward? You know what I'm saying? So, and even like take Joe Burrow. And I love Joe Burrow because he's from my hometown, representing Cincinnati, local kid. He's one of those guys that checks all the boxes. He's 6'4". He's got a great arm. He's got great touch. He's got great targeting. He can throw it on time and on target. He's fast enough to get out of there if he's in trouble and throw on the run. He can do all that stuff. But the only thing he hasn't done is make it to a Super Bowl. He's got close, got to the AFC Championship game, didn't make it over the hump. So, I could, there's been more quarterbacks like the stereotypes that most people are looking for that haven't made it to a Super Bowl, as opposed to somebody like Jalen Hurts. But they still don't want to give him his props. And you ain't got to laud him, and you ain't got to go overboard. I don't think that's necessary, but just The wins should make up for any deficiencies you think he has in his game. Period. And then they moved the goalposts, because I've started to hear this when it comes to the Eagles. They moved the goalposts. They can't continue to win like this. They got to take an L somewhere, because it's going to be hard to win 15 games in a row or do this in a row. Or no, it's not. The difficulty lies in every week. You got to approach every game like it's its own individual season. Every game is a season. I used to subscribe to that years ago. And then you get in the league and then you realize how the sausage is made, what you actually do in the film rooms. And you don't look at it like that. Every game is its own entity. You don't look ahead. You don't look back. You watch film and you see what can help you in different situations, but they are not looking like right now. I guarantee you the Eagles are not thinking about, oh, we got to win out, or we got to win all these games in a row and you can't lose. They're not thinking about that. We got to go, we got to win the next, 15 games, or, we're 11-2. Can we be 15-2? And then you got to go 19-2 if you want to get to the Super Bowl. You're not thinking about that. The only thing you're thinking about is we got to beat Washington this week. That's what they're thinking about. We got to beat Washington. Then the next week, we got to beat Cowboys. Then we got to beat the Giants. That's all you think about. And you keep it compartmentalized to that. That is where Nick Sirianni is going above and beyond. And that is more difficult than you can imagine, especially when you're winning. Because it's very easy to veer off course when everybody's talking to you. Everybody's talking about you. And you start to sip some of your own Kool-Aid. Let me be honest with you. That's what the problem is in Dallas. Truth be told, Dallas is, I wish I could go back and find this. And it was about 3 years ago, before I had this podcast. This is when I was on A2D Radio. Shout out to A2D Radio. And I said, if Micah Parsons doesn't drink the Dallas Kool-Aid and he just stays that same humble dude and just continues to ball out, Dallas is going to be dangerous. But that year, he drank the Kool-Aid. Then he started his podcast. Then he went on Vaughn Miller's podcast and started talking shit about the Eagles and Jalen. And it just started a domino effect and it's like, too late. It's too late. He done bought into that bullshit down in Dallas. Like, just by osmosis, they supposed to be the best when they ain't won anything in 30 years. Their last Super Bowl tape is on VHS. Stop playing with me. They ain't even got one on DVD. But they buy into that shit. And it's like every game is something new. And we don't subscribe to that. Every year, the Eagles, you got to earn your shit. You got to earn it. That's the one thing about the fan base up here. We don't play that. We don't play that madness up here. We talk shit on our own players worse than anybody else on the outside. So we going to hold you accountable. Do y'all remember what happened last year? Even with the collapse last year. And I remember I jumped into this conversation when Slay, for whatever reason, decided to go on this tirade talking about Seth. And I was like, first of all, you need to know your history. Number two, that's the wrong dude to talk about. Talking about he don't know how to tackle. Because they were taking L's and they were getting a lot of criticism because, last year our tackling was shit. Tackling was horrible. So it was brutal what the Philadelphia media did to him. But he was right. Seth was right. It's like, dude, you don't know how to tackle. Dropping your head, it became a technique thing, and they didn't practice it. This year they practiced it. But you gotta, saying all that to say, Philly don't play like that. Philly will keep it 100 with you, and if you suck, we will tell you you suck. We don't mince words. We keep it 100, and you know exactly what we thinking. Now, some of that people go overboard. You got some people in Philly that don't know what the hell they talking about. So you got to deal with that as it comes. But for the most part, most of Philly knows what they're talking about. Very passionate fan base, very knowledgeable fan base, and a very real fan base. They will tell you what's what. Other teams can't deal with that. But it gives us an edge. It gives us that that underdog feel, because it seems like regardless of how good we are, everybody got an issue. There's always something that everybody, teams don't want to give us the props or whatever the situation was. A couple years ago, Hassan Reddick should have been defensive player of the year. They gave it to Bosa. So, but it was always a reason or an excuse, and it is what it is. As long as we winning, we 12-2. Do y'all realize we are one drop pass from being 13-1? Do y'all realize that? But y'all keep talking shit on Sirianni if you want to. Go ahead. Go ahead and keep talking shit on Sirianni. You talking about a national media, every chance they get, they still want to bring up snowballs at Santa Claus, something that happened in the 60s. Because they want something to say. I did a video a couple years ago, and this was after the incident with Fred Warner's wife. When Fred Warner, the 49ers came to town, and Fred Warner said she didn't feel safe leaving the stadium or something like that. And it was like, come on, man. And it was like that whole moniker stuck. And I put a video together that showed all of the fights and the fan fights and all of the craziness that happens in other stadiums. But nobody says anything when it happens in Oakland, or when it happens in San Francisco, or it happens with the Rams, or it happens at SoFi, or all these other places where these Dallas, all those other places where fights break out weekly. Nobody says anything. But if it happens in Philly, Philly fans are the worst. National news. They'll be talking about it on Pat McAfee, on Get Up, on PTI, all them shows. They will lead with Philly, the fight in Philly, or whatever the situation is. They always want to put that negative connotation, that negative spin on Philadelphia when it happens in other cities way more than it happens in Philly. But they won't say that. Eagle Stewart, I'm going back a little bit. Hold on. That's a good point. I was talking to somebody about this earlier. Trent Dilfer won despite being in quarterback. It was the defense that won the Super Bowl. Absolutely. Absolutely. He game managed his way, didn't lose the game, put points up where he had to put points up, and the defense did the rest. And he got a chip. He got a chip. It's all that matters. Hurts is a game dictator to arm talent groupies, want guys who just keep their team in shootouts every game and can't control the game. Jalen QB's for the team, not just to direct the offense and score. I think Jalen, go back and look. This is what I want to see. Because I think his best passing game this year may have been the Green Bay game, the first game of the year. May have been. Let's look at his stats. He's middle of the pack. He's 20th. Here we go. Hold on. So his best game this year, the Saints. The Saints game, 311 yards. That's his only 300-yard game this year. Falcons, Green Bay, he went for 278. Falcons, he went for 183. The Saints, he went for 311. He should have had 300 against the Steelers, but we took our foot off the gas towards the end of the game. So, to your point, he does what he needs to do. He ain't trying to, stat pad and stuff like that, man. So, yeah, they don't like us. We don't care. You know what, Kev? You would think winning would be the most important thing, but everybody wants them stats, man. Everybody wants them stats. I agree 100%. 100%. Hurts don't need 300 yards. Barkley can run, and we can control the clock. That's it in a nutshell. I was still mad that Saquon didn't get 25 carries. I'm always going to be biased towards the running back. I'm a running back. Saquon needs 20 to 25 carries a game, not touches, carries. If you want to bolster that with some screen passes and stuff like that, I mean, hell, God forbid that Kellen Moore ever puts a screen game in. We could be dangerous. We could be really dangerous. Can you imagine if we had a really effective screen game that'll really cause those linebackers to play a little bit tighter? Oh my God. That would be phenomenal. But again, I'm nitpicking. Yes, Gainwell did have a good game. I've always liked Gainwell. Always liked Gainwell. So I want to keep him going at it. Definitely want to keep him going at it. So he's a good backup. Eventually, I want to see Shipley, but every time they try to take Gainwell off the field, it don't work out because he just continues the ball, continues to get better. And he can break one, but keep the pressure off of Saquon and save him. I'm curious as to what we're going to do these last 3 games. So I don't see us losing these last games. I know the Washington game is going to be tight, but I think we are a better team now than we were when we beat them the first time. So continue to do what we've been doing. I don't see what the problem is. This stuff is not complicated. Sometimes it seems like the coaches, the coordinators, Kellen Moore, and not Vic Fangio, but basically Kellen Moore, they trying to show the rest of the league that yeah, we can throw the ball all over the place too, and we can, but I don't want to because the engine that's running this offense is Saquon Barkley. He's the engine this year. Before, It was a combination of, in 22, it was Jalen Hurts with a whole lot of with a healthy dose of AJ Brown. This year, it's Saquon. Even last year with DeAndre Swift and what he did, and you could see the explosiveness there. They still didn't give him the ball. Now they can't. They done paid him. He's producing. You got to stick with it. You got to continue. That's the only gripe I have with last week, but I can't say it loudly. I can't say it out loud because Jalen Hurts went off. Jalen Hurts played flawlessly. Not flawlessly because he had the fumble, but that was just a great play by TJ Watt. But Jalen Hurts' first incomplete pass did not come until like 12 minutes in the second quarter or something like that. He was just on point. He was just on point. On point, up-tempo offense was killing them. Run it till they stop it. I think Barkley got dinged up a little bit on that one tackle by Minkah Fitzpatrick. I think it hit his knee. I think he's going to be sore. And there's no need to take the chance. You're right, because Gainwell was looking good. That spin move, whoo, chef's kiss as a running back, man. I was not a good spinner. I would give you the dead arm. I would look like I was going to stiff arm you, and if somebody I could convince somebody to grab my arm, I could make my arm go dead and just like pull it out and go. So that was I used to call that the Bruce Lee move, because I would tell people, don't concentrate on the finger. Don't concentrate on the finger or you will lose all that heavenly glory. Bruce Lee. I hate the screens, the Goddard, Devontae Smith. Yeah, I don't like those two. I don't like the screen passes outside when we're in trips formation. I don't like those. I don't mind that the tight end screens, but we gotta mix it up. They need to go back and pull film on Brian Westbrook and pull film on Darren Sproles. Darren Sproles, when we ran that screen game, Andy Reid screen game with Darren Sproles was nasty. Straight up nasty. Couldn't nobody stop it. Could nobody stop it. So I would love to see them go back to that a little bit more. But we'll see. But again, remember the rules. If we win and we nitpick. If we lose it, we complain. So that's the way it goes. Yeah, Boston and Sproles. Sproles, though, man. Sproles was on another level, dude. Sproles was on another level. Very special. So I would love to see them get back to that, but that ain't Kellen Moore's thing. So if it ain't happened by now, unless he gonna fool everybody and he got it all deep in the playbook and he just ain't pulled it out yet, because sometimes coordinators do that. Sometimes they'll do that when they'll pull out some new plays for the playoffs, because that way nobody's got film on it. So it's possible. We'll see what they're gonna do. We'll definitely see what they're gonna do. I have not heard anything about Landon Dickerson. That's the only person that got hurt. Still going through tests. Here we go. Let me see what happened. Landon Dickerson suffers knee injury against the Steelers, week 15. Does it say anything new? Return question. This is from the game. Was that September 15th? Yeah, that's from the game. I don't think 2 days ago. Yeah, there's nothing new. Everything is from when it happened during the game. This is a day ago on Reddit. See, Landon Dickerson is still going through tests on the knee, gathering information. Okay. Okay. Yeah, I don't see. There's nothing new. There's no updates. Landon Dickerson, Pro Football Focus. I got a pretty decent grade, but yeah, no new news. Keep searching. All right, so much for that. Well, I guess we'll find out eventually. So yeah, man, we rocking and rolling. We're in a good place. Jalen needed that game to get everybody back on course, back steering the ship, and that's where we're supposed to be. Yes, Steen goes in for Dickerson. This is where you see the brilliance of Jeff Stoutland. That's why Jeff Stoutland is Teflon. You don't cut him. You don't move him. Whatever he wants, you give him. That is why, from my understanding, that is why we did not hire Cliff Kingsbury when we were looking for new coordinators. Because Cliff Kingsbury wanted to bring in his own people and all of that type of stuff. And That was non-negotiable. There's no way we getting rid of Jeff Stoutland. Nah. Clayton Kingsbury would have tried to bring in all his own people, and it's like Jeff Stoutland is somebody you do not get rid of. Period. He is the best in the business. Period. He is the best in the business. He is the best offensive line coach in the NFL, bar none. He is Teflon. So we got that situation locked up. And anybody that wants to mess up that apple cart, you got to get them out of here. So we are in good shape. I thought I was going to do it today, but I'll probably do it sometime tomorrow. Maybe tomorrow night I'll stream a film study session watching Jalen Hurts. Now, I already saw – I might go straight to – I think that is what I'm going to do. I might do a film study with Saquon and Kenny Gainwell rather than do Jalen Hurts because I'm going to watch JT O'Sullivan's The Quarterback School. I'm going to watch his tape on Jalen Hurts because he does a much better job breaking down. I'm a running back, so I can break down running backs, not a quarterback. So he knows stuff that I don't know and vice versa. So definitely check that out. But I probably will come back tomorrow. Go do some live stuff, man. Finally feels good to be getting back in the grind. Got some new things going on. Got some new graphics up. You see the Maximum Football. You see the Chalk It Up. You see the SBD. You see I got my jersey up on the wall. Got the big screen up over here. So, yeah, everything works. You see Tom Grossi was here. Shout out to Tom Grossi who rated my channel a couple weeks back. That was fun. Yeah, Eagle Stewart, man, I'm going to do another film study tomorrow, man. That's for sure. I might try to go live. And I'm trying to set some stuff up. Check me out on Discord, and I'm trying to get some stuff started now to get into this Twitch universe. So got to do some more homework on that, but I know that time might be running out for TikTok. I know those are the rumors. I've been hearing that for a while, but I'm figuring I'm just got to get ready on another platform rather than, trying to scramble. Just get yourself ready. So that'll be happening pretty soon. But yeah, man, everything's going good, and we're going to keep it going, man. So if you are on Discord, look me up. I'm new to Discord, but I'm enjoying that engagement a little bit better than Facebook. So you can check me out. My server's called Philadelphia Eagles Fans, or you can just search Pro Fan Talk. I got a server that says Pro Fan Talk. So check me out there. I will talk with you one-on-one, man. Definitely talk with you one-on-one. You can ask me anything. So we're going to keep it moving. I appreciate you guys jumping in. We rolled for about an hour 20. So we're looking at an hour 18 right now. So that's good. About an hour 18 minutes. So it is all good in the hood, man. So I'm going to get up out of here. I will see you guys tomorrow. Check my socials because I will be posting what time I'm gonna get down with the film study. I definitely want to see you a part of that, man. So have some fun, get the telestrator up working. But yeah, we can take a tight look. So I'm gonna get up out of here. Appreciate everybody. Eagle Stewart for sure. Cab as usual. Case was coming with the heat. Peanut Butter 123 was coming with the heat today. I appreciate you. Tell you what, man. Eagle Stewart, hold tight. Don't go nowhere. Let's do this real quick. Hold tight. Eagle Stewart, man, you were bringing the heat today, bro. So what I'm gonna do is I'm gonna hook you up with a wrench, bro. What that means is that means you're official. That means you are official, bro. I'm gonna add you as a moderator, and you get the wrench. That's what I'm talking about, bro. I appreciate you. Appreciate the support. When you hang around long enough and you contribute, I try to make it official that you're part of the squad, man. But I appreciate everybody, man. So we're gonna keep growing. I want you to grow with me. I want to build this team, make it bigger. Tell your friends about me. Invite some people. Hey, and also, man, I'm looking for some ladies, man. I need some ladies to talk ball with too because I got 2 sisters. And I don't want them smacking me upside the head because I ain't got no ladies in the chat. So bring it. If you know some ladies that are all about the ball, I will talk ball with anybody. You feel me? So I'm gonna get up out of here. Case, I'm out. Eagle Stewart, congrats, man. Thank you for being some support. You got a wrench now, man. So you for real. Peanut butter 123, keep bringing that fire, bro. I appreciate you. PA Philly man, outstanding. You know what, PA Philly man, I tried to get Barrett Brooks on last week. He got busy. We had planned on it, and then something happened and he got super busy. I know how it is, but I'll get him on. Don't worry, Big Barrett will be back in. Trot. I haven't talked to Trot in a minute. Last time I tried to get Trotter on my show, he agreed to come on, and then I called him, and I called him like a day before, and he was like, yeah, I'm in Mexico opening up a hotel. I was like, what? So that's the way it is sometimes. These guys are moving and shaking. So a lot of times it's hard to pin them down, man. So, but we're going to keep efforting. Corey Littles, I appreciate you. Jonathan Grimshaw, you were definitely bringing the fire today, bro. Definitely don't be a stranger, man. Keep it up. Y'all's 222H, I appreciate you. Chris, appreciate you as usual, man. I'm going to get up out of here. Cody K, as usual. But I'm going to get up out of here, man. I appreciate everybody. We're going to do this again real soon. Stay tuned for, pay attention to the socials so you can find out when I'm going to film, when I'm going to go live with the film study tomorrow. All right? I'm going to get up out of here. Y'all be good. Be safe out there. God bless. And I will catch you in the next one. Go Birds.